said we'll start our quiz at 3. You remind me 5 minutes before 3 to prepare for the quiz. Meanwhile, we will continue. You can see my presentation. I shared it with you. هذه presentation شايفينها? You can see it, huh?
Yes, yes, doctor.
We are talking now about the flow problem. The flow shop problem where we have 3 machines. Last time we talked about the flow shop with 2 machines. Now we're talking about the flow shop with 3 machines. Now in 3 machines, the problem in general is NP hard. يعني no solution, no efficient solution for the problem with 3 and more. Flow shop problem. However, there are some special cases that are solvable in polynomial time. Special cases. And here I have a list of the cases that are solvable. Other than this, it's not known to be solvable. Now, the first case is Johnson's approximate method. Yani, we are extending Johnson to solve the 3-machine problem. How? Now, one case, if machine 2 is dominated by one of the other 2 machines, yani, if dominated by, what do we mean by a machine is dominated by the other machines? Dominated by means the processing times on that machine are in general smaller than the processing time on the other machine. Or to be more specific, the processing times on the second machine, the highest processing time on the second machine is less than or equal the lowest processing time on the other machines. At least on one of the other machines. You got it? Example. You can see here machine 2. Machine 2, the highest processing time on this machine, they are all small numbers compared to the others. Like in this, the highest number here is 3. The highest processing time is 3. And you can see, compare it with machine 1, the lowest is 3. So now we say that machine 2 is dominated by machine 1. Okay?
Machine 2 dominated by 1.
يعني machine 1 dominates machine 2, or we can say machine 2 is dominated by machine 1. But is machine 2 dominated by machine 3? You can see here the highest is 3, but here the lowest is 2, so it's not. So machine 3 does not dominate machine 2. So machine 2 is dominated only by machine 1. And that is sufficient enough to apply the rule that I'll be talking about. Which goes like this. I will sum up machine 2, combine it, sum it up with machine 1 and with machine 3. So I will combine machine 1 with machine 2 with machine 1. So I will have 5 here, 8 here, 4 here, and so on. And I will also combine machine 2 with machine 3. So I will have 4, 11, 3, 10, and so on. So I will convert the 3-machine problem into a 2-machine problem. Now the 2-machine problem can now be solved using Johnson method that we have seen before for this 2-machine problem. And if you apply the Johnson method, you will have this schedule 2, 4, 5, 1, 3, 6. Now this schedule is optimal with respect to the 3-machine problem. Now what will be Cmax? Cmax is just you take the sequence, you evaluate the Cmax for the 3-machine problem using that sequence that you got from Johnson. Is that clear? We converted the 3-machine problem into a 2-machine problem. And then from that, we found the optimal solution. هذا نسميه the 2-machine problem that we generated from the 3-machine problem, what we call a pseudo 2-machine problem. You see here the word. The pseudo 2-machine problem. Yani it's not the original, it's just a fictitious two-machine problem. It's not real. This is what it means, pseudo two-machine problem. So from the three-machine problem, we generated a pseudo two-machine problem, solved, find the optimum sequence, and that will be the optimum sequence for the original problem. Is this optimum? Yes, it is optimum. It is an optimum solution. Now here, is this the schedule here? Is this a permutation schedule? It is a permutation schedule. And we said that before, one of the theorems in the beginning of the chapter, that the three-machine problem with Cmax, the optimal solution for the three-machine flow shop problem with the objective of minimizing Cmax is a permutation schedule. So this is schedule 2,4 of this sequence 245136 is the same for all, applies for all machines. All machines have this sequence.
Doctor,
Hey.
how do we convert from three machine to two machine?
Just summing up the first two machines to get the first machine, and the last two machines to get the second machine. An example is clear.
Okay.
هذا الcolumn added to this column, you will get that column. And now add these two columns, you will get the second. That's simple.
Okay.
Very simple. Now, if you do this, although the second machine is not dominated by any one of the two machines, would you get the optimum solution?
Not guarantee or?
Not necessarily. This is guaranteed to be optimum only when machine 2 is what?
Dominated by
any one of the other two machines. Yes. Otherwise, what you will get is a heuristic, let's say. It could be just a good heuristic, but there's no guarantee. The only guarantee is the case when it is dominated. The second machine is dominated. Okay? So this is one case in which we were able to solve the three-machine problem. Another case, when machine 2 dominates machine 1, يعني the other way around. Machine 2 dominates machine 1. كيف يعني؟ This is an example. This is machine 1. This is machine 2. The largest here in machine 1 is 5. The smallest in machine 2 is 5. So the largest here, the largest in this machine is smaller than or equal to the smallest in the second machine. So we can say that machine 1 is dominated by machine 2. Now, this case is solvable by just solving the two machine problem corresponding to machine 2 and 3. Generate additional sequences by inserting the first position job J. In first position job J with this, where K is the first job in the sequence, among the generated sequence. Yani you generate, the first sequence you generate is generate the sequence that is applying Johnson for the second and the third machines. يعني هذه apply Johnson على ignoring machine 1 completely. Apply Johnson on the second and the third, and you will get a sequence 1, 2, 3. And the corresponding Cmax is 24. طبعا the Cmax, this 24 is coming from the original 3 machine problem. Okay? Now, you check the first job in the sequence. The first job in the sequence that we got is job 1. Processing 1, 3 is less than processing time of job 1, 1. يعني you see here which processing time of job you compare job 2 and job 3 with the processing time of job 1. If you find a job that has a processing time less than P11, then you will insert it in the first position. Yani you remove job 3 in this example, you put it in the beginning. So you'll have 3, 1, 2. That's an alternative solution. You have to evaluate it and compare it with the original one. If it could be less or could be more. If it's less, then that will be the optimal solution. If it's more, you stick to the original solution. Case 3, we have Johnson's extended rule. Johnson's extended rule, if applying Johnson's rule for each of the 3 two-machine problems, yani you take all combination of two-machine problems. These are the 3 possible combinations. If you apply Johnson's rule on each one of them, and you get the same sequence, then that sequence is optimal. You got the point? I'll take 1, 2, apply Johnson, you will get a sequence. Take 2, 3, apply Johnson, you get another sequence. Take 1, 3, apply Johnson rule, you will get a third sequence. If these 3 sequences are the same, it means that this is an optimal solution. And here we are assuming the dominance relationship is not there. We don't have the dominance relationship. If the dominance relationship is there, then we would use case 1 or case 2. The third or the fourth case is when, this is an example, it is when the second machine is constant. If the processing times on the second machine is constant. So in that case, what do we do? If it's constant, if P2 is a constant, and if SPT1 is the same sequence of LPT3, then this sequence is optimal. Yani if you order this, the first machine in SPT order, and the last machine on the LPT order, and you get the same order, the same sequence, then that sequence is optimal. And here, SPT is, for machine 1 is 2, 1, 3. LPT for machine 2 is 2, 1, 3. It happens to be the same. Then this is the optimal solution. Okay? Abdullah? Tamimi? سلطان؟
معك. اوكي دكتور.
معك دكتور.
تابعين معايا ولا؟
تابعين معك.
ايش اخر واحدة؟ What was the last one؟
إذا كان أول مشين SPT وإذا كان آخر مشين LPT ونفس الأوردر فيعطيك optimal.
It will be the optimal solution for the problem. Good. Case 5. Let M, capital M, be the make span of the optimal sequence for the two machine Zulu problem. سويناها في case 1. طلعنا optimum sequence, طلعنا two machines, سوينا the same thing as we did on the previous case. And M prime be the corresponding make span of the original 3 machine problem. طلعنا the make span, the corresponding make span. Now, if the make span of the original problem equal to the make span, or if the make span on the 2 machine problem equals to the make span of the 3 machine problem plus the processing times of all jobs on the second machine, then the sequence is optimal. طبعا this is the case when dominance is not applied. يعني. If the dominance is applied, خلاص, we know it's optimal solution. Like if the dominance is not there, but we applied that method, the two machine pseudo problem, we applied it, although there was no dominance. We said we said that there is no guarantee of optimality. However, if the make span of the two machine problem equals to the make span of the three machine problem plus the processing times on the second machine, then it means that this is the optimum solution. طبعا each one of these cases has a proof, analytical proof for each case. I'm skipping the proofs. I'm not showing you the proofs. هذا الكيس is clear? Is this case is clear? Now what I did here, this is a three machine problem. هذه two machine pseudo problem. طبعا here, was there here any dominance? Was machine 2 dominated by any one of the other machines? No dominance. There is no dominance here. Okay. Now the two machine problem will be this one. 2 plus 4, 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. 6 plus 6 is 12. 4 plus 3 is 7. 6 plus 8 is 14, and so on. So this is the two machine pseudo problem. Now, if you find the make span for this problem using the 1, 2, 3, the sequence 1, 2, 3 coming from here, and Johnson will give us 1, 2, 3. Now, if you find the make span for the sequence 1, 2, 3 on the original problem, that turns out to be 25. If you take the make span for the pseudo problem, it turns out to be 41. يعني لو سويت الميك سبان هنا على دي, it will be 41. Now the difference between 41 and 25 is, come, 16?
16.
16. If 16 is equals to the summation of this, which is the case, then 1, 2, 3 is the optimal solution. واضح؟
Again, Doctor, the last point, please.
Now, if the difference between the make span of the sequence 1, 2, 3 here and the make span 1, 2, 3 here for the two machine, if the difference equals to the total processing time of the second machine, then the problem is, or the sequence is optimum with the original, for the original problem.
So this problem is optimum.
Yes, 1, 2, 3 is optimum. Okay? يعني لو أخذت, if you draw the Gantt chart for the three machine problem for the sequence 1, 2, 3, and the Gantt chart for the two machine problem for the sequence 1, 2, 3, you find the make span here and the make span there. If the difference between the two make spans equal to 16 in this case, then the solution is optimal. واضح؟ هذا example. This is an example for optimality. This is another example for you to check whether it's true or not. So you have, so far I gave you 5 cases, special cases, in which the optimal solution can be obtained. Otherwise, we don't know of any other cases. Maybe there are some other cases, but in general, otherwise, we cannot say that the optimal solution is obtainable in a polynomial time. Okay? ماشي يا شباب, any questions?
واضح يا دكتور.
طيب, now what do we do if we have 5 machines, 6 machines, 7 machines? What can we do? لا, the same خلاص, ما احنا we did not do anything. How the same? Do me the same. لا ما في parallel machine هذا flow shop. Flow shop. Yeah, but for anything other than 3, for or more, there's no efficient methods for solving them optimally. لكن what we can do, we can solve it using branch and bound, integer programming formulations. We can use what else? Heuristics maybe, right? And so on. طيب, proportionate permutation flow shop problem. Now this is a flow shop problem, which is a permutation flow shop problem. Now here we are talking about a flow shop problem, which is permutation. By the way, a flow shop problem in which you have 4 machines or more, the optimum solution is not necessarily a permutation schedule. Right? This is clear? For the flow shop problem, general flow shop problem, with more than 3 machines, يعني 4 machines or more, the optimum solution is not necessarily a polynomial or not necessarily a permutation schedule. بمعنى it means that you might have every machine having its own sequence. You can have machine 1 having a sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. لكن machine 5 مثلا, it can have a sequence 2, 5, 4, 3, 1. Right? Then we did not have a theorem that says the optimal solution for the flow shop problem is a permutation schedule. We don't have such a theorem. However, if the problem we are dealing with is a permutation flow shop problem, it means that he is saying that any schedule that's not a permutation schedule is not feasible to me. That's a special case of a flow shop problem. Yani we have a general flow shop problem and we have a permutation flow shop problem. For the permutation flow shop problem, all we are searching for the optimum solution among all permutation schedules. Any schedule that's not permutation is not feasible anyway, let alone being optimal. However, if you were told that the problem is a general flow shop problem, then you have to worry about permutation schedules and not permutation schedules if you have more than 3 machines. Now here in this case, we are talking about the permutation flow shop problem, in which only permutation schedules are feasible. Now, this problem is, of course, more difficult than the permutation. When you have a permutation is a special case of the flow shop problem. At least we know that the optimum solution is a permutation for all machines, even if you have 10 machines. It is a permutation schedule. Now, what if we wanted to find the optimal solution with respect to any objective function, f, any objective function, f? Now, this is a special case in which the processing times are all the same. For each job, you have the same processing time. Had a special case, like this example here. Job 1 has a processing time of 5 on all machines. Job 3 has a processing time of 3 on all machines, and so on. So this satisfies the case what we are talking about here. This is a special case of the permutation flow shop problem. Why we are choosing this special case? Because it has similarity with a single machine case. It has a similarity with a single machine case. يعني like this. The SPT rule is optimal for this problem, the problem we are talking about, with the objective function of the total completion time. صارت similar to the single machine case. SPT is optimum. طبعا SPT is you have only one SPT because يعني if you apply SPT for on machine 1, it will be the same SPT on machine 2, the same SPT on machine 3, and so on. So if you have 10 machines, you just put them in order in the SPT order of their jobs, and that will give you the optimal solution with respect to the total completion time. Similarly, Moore algorithm can be applied for the objective function of the total number of tardy jobs. Lower algorithm can also be applied, dynamic programming, and so on. So it is very much similar to the single machine case under this assumption. واضح شباب؟ You can do the same idea when you have also different speeds of machines. Now, we said for the flowchart, for the general flowchart problem, for the permutation flowchart problem, in minimizing Cmax with more than 3 machines, we said we don't have the optimum solution. We don't have a polynomial solution method for solving this problem. And we will either do an engine programming or we go to heuristics. Now, there are several heuristics that are very known to solve the flowchart problem, the permutation flowchart problem. Now, the first one is what we call the slope index. It was suggested by Palmer in 1965. And it goes like this. For each job, you specify what we call the slope index. For each job, we calculate the slope index. The slope index formula is here. That's the slope index formula. And then once you calculate the slope index for each job, you put them in an increasing order of the slope index. In non-decreasing order of the slope index. يعني in increasing order. يعني you evaluate the slope for each job and then you put the jobs in a non-decreasing order of their slope index. And if you look at this carefully, the multiplier here, now if you have if you have here, as in our example, if you have 4 machines, in our example, you have 4 machines, so M will be 4. And the slope for the first job will be what? What will be this number? M minus
3 دكتور.
minus 2 plus 1. صح؟ يعني 4 minus 2 plus 1.
3.
There, 3. Right? Right? 3. So we are multiplying the processing time of job 1 by 3. And you are doing this for the whole column here. In fact, what we are doing, and I will show you this in this example. But here you can see the S1s. S1 equal to minus 1, minus 3, 4, and 1. This is not 4. This is, sorry, this is 3. هذه 3. Okay. So what we are doing, if you have an even number of machines, you multiply this machine, this column, this, well, let's focus on here in this. This problem is the same as this problem, right? What's the difference between the two? This one and that one? Can you guess?
الكولوم صار رو والرو صار كولوم.
Exactly. The rows are column and the columns are rows. It's the same problem. You just take the transpose of that. It will be the same. Now let's talk about this one, this issue, this data, this form. Okay. The machines are in the columns. Now you multiply this column by minus 3. You multiply this column by minus 1. You multiply this column by plus 1, and this column by minus 3. And the multipliers. Okay. And then that will be your slope index. And if you apply this in this example, you will get, and you put them in that order, you will get 2, 1, 4, 3. See if I have another example. Okay, hey, this is more clear. Okay, I have 3 machines and I have 4 jobs. Now the multiplier here, this is an odd number of machines. So the multipliers, if you go back the multipliers, the middle one will be multiplied by 0, and this one will be multiplied by 1, and this one multiplied by minus 1. Okay, by 2 and minus 2. Let me, here you see, if the m is odd, then the multipliers are, you see here, the middle machine is 0, the machine before that multiplied by 2, and the machine after that is multiplied by minus 2. If the number of machines is odd. Now here in this example, it is odd. We have 3 machines. So the middle machine is multiplied by 0, and the machine to the left is multiplied by 2, and to the right is multiplied by minus 2. So S1 will be the processing time of job 1 on machine 1 multiplied by 1 plus 0 plus minus 2 multiplied by the processing time of that job. Yani 1 multiplied by 2 and 4 multiplied by minus 2. Sum them up, that will give you minus 6. Job 2, the S2, to find S2, we multiply this by 2 and that by minus 2. The middle one is 0. For S3, you multiply this by 2 and this by minus 2, sum them up. For S4, job 4, multiply this by 2, multiply this by minus 2, and sum them up. And you see that these are S1, S2, S3, or S4. Now you put them in non-decreasing order. Yani you start with the smallest. Which one is the smallest? The smallest is minus 6. So both of them. So you will either take job 1 or job 2, start with job 1 or job 2, and then you go to job 3 and then job 4. That will be, you have 2 alternatives. That will be your sequence. And you can evaluate the corresponding Cmax for both of them. And choose the one that gives you the minimum. Now, when you have, in this example, when you have 4 machines, you'll be multiplying this machine by 1, this machine by minus 1, this machine by 3, and this machine by minus 3. So, if you multiply this machine by 3, what you will get? So, and here I did not solve it completely, but what you will get is multiply this by 3. For job 1, it will be 12 plus 3, 15, minus 7 is 8, minus 9 is -1, right?
Yes.
And that is -1. Now S2, 2 multiplied by 3, 6. 8 multiplied by 1, 14. 2 multiplied by -1, 12. 3 multiplied by 15, minus 3 multiplied by 5, -15. -15 plus 12, -3. For job 4, this is multiplied by 3, 9, multiplied by 1, 11, multiplied by -1, 7, multiplied by -3, 4. Right?
Yes.
Did I make a mistake? 3 or 4? Again, 9 -2, 7. No, sorry. 9 plus 2, 11. -4. Come. 7. Right? -3 is 4. So this is 4. S3 is 4. S4, you have come 15 plus 4, 19, minus 3, 16, minus 15. 15 minus 15.
ايوه minus 15 يساوي 1.
هذه 16 كانت
16 minus 15 ايوه
16 minus 15 يعني plus 1. Plus 1 مظبوط. Now you put this in order. The smallest is job 2. The next is job 1. The next is job 4. And then job 3. That is the sequence. Now how do you see max? Evaluate this. سوي الجان chart of this for the corresponding sequence 2, 1, 4, 3. You will get 29. واضح شباب Palmer method؟
واضح يا دكتور.
Anyway, you can. This is. I'm trying to make it easier for you. Just this formula. The slope for job J. In fact, what does it mean? A slope means how the processing times of a certain job going through the machines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it increasing as you go to the next machine? Is the processing time is increasing in the second machine compared to the first machine? Is it increasing compared to the next machine or not? Is it يعني in general هل في ترند بزيادة من الماشين الأولى إلى last machines ولا في ترند نزولا؟ الجوبس اللي فيها ترند نزولا يعني كل ما تروح للنكست ماشين البروسيسنج تايم يقل، هذه نحطها في البداية في الأواخر، والعكس صحيح. فهذه الفكرة is based on this idea. How processing times changing from one machine to the other. Is it positive change ولا negative change? طبعا هي it's not negative ولا positive. Then here you can see machine one, job 1 more for example, it goes down and then up and then down. This one for example, job 2 goes up, then down, then up. يعني there is no machine that goes always down or always up. But an S1 tries to measure in general. Does it tend to be higher or lower? And this is a measure of that behavior. You see? You see the point? The ones that have a tendency to be higher as you go through machines will be put in the beginning. And the other way around. واضح الفكرة يا شباب؟ يعني just to have some sense of what we are doing. Another method is the heuristic for another heuristic is what we call the CDS method. CDS هي اختصار لأسماء ثلاثة باحثين، أظن كامبل، واحد اسمه كامبل، واحد اسمه دوت، واحد اسمه سميث. فهذه السي دي اس هي اختصار لأسمائهم الأولى، الحروف الأولى من أسمائهم، الفاميلي نيمز حق الثلاثة ريسيرشرز. Anyway, they suggested this solution. This solution is depends on the two machine problem. على Johnson, it's similar to Johnson. And what they are saying that we will convert the n machine case, the n machine problem, into single machine problem, but not a single two machine problem, into multiple two machine problems. Yani I will generate several two machine problems, and each one I will solve using Johnson. The solutions will be candidates to be optimal. Yani if I have 4 machine problem, I will generate 3 two machine problems, and then solve each one, find the optimal solution using Johnson, and evaluate each one using the original problem, evaluate the Cmax for each one, and the one that has the least Cmax will be my solution. طبعا my solution I mean a heuristic solution, not necessarily optimal solution. To demonstrate this, look at this example. I will take machine 1 and machine 4, just ignore the middle two machines. Take the first and the last machine. Consider this as a two machine problem. Solve it using Johnson. Just ignore M2 or M3. This is what you will get. The two machine problem. Now use Johnson to solve it. Johnson will give you 2, 4, 1, 3 sequence. Cmax, if you apply 2, 4, 1, 3 on the original problem, you will find Cmax. Be careful. It's the Cmax of the original problem, not the two machine problem. Now, another two machine problem that can be generated if you sum up the first two machines and the last two machines. So here you see 4 plus 3 is 7. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. So this will be your first machine. Your second machine will be 7 plus 3 is 10. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. So that is the two machine problem. هنا أنا عكست الماشينز، الجوبس هم الكولومز والماشينز هم الجوبس. Maybe I should have used the same order. Anyway, this is the second two machine problem, and Johnson will give me 3, 1, 4, 2, and the optimal one, and the solution corresponding to that is 30. Now, the last two machine problem is generated by summing up the first 3 to give you the first machine, and the last 3 to give you the second machine. Now, if you do that, you will have 4 plus 3 plus 7, that's 14. هذه 14. 2 plus 8 plus 2, that's 12. هذه 12. 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4, that is 9. This is the 9. So that will be the processing time on the first machine. The processing time on the second machine will be the summation of the last 3. يعني 3 plus 7 plus 3, that's 13. And so on. Now solving this using Johnson, you will get 4, 2, 1, 3, and the corresponding Cmax is 32. Now, which one has the best Cmax? It is the first one, 2, 4, 1, 3. So CDS will return to me this solution, اللي هو in yellow. This solution will be the solution obtained by CDS method. Is it optimum? We don't know. It's not necessarily optimum. This is an example, another example for 3 machines. And this is the way how I converted this is the first two machine case, 1 and this is 1 and 4, and the first and the last machine. And then the summation of the first two and the summation of the last two. So this is a two machine problem, and this is another two machine problem. Solve each one of them. This will give me 28, so my answer will be 28. Now forget about this. Huh?
اوكي دكتور
Yes.
باقي 5 دقائق على 3 بس قلت اذكرك.
طيب. Heuristic, just I want to finish the last heuristic because this is the last of this chapter anyway. The last heuristic is what we call Denenbring heuristic. Denenbring heuristic had it in 1977, maybe the latest of them. And in this method, we converse the M machine problem into a single 2 machine problem by having multipliers. The multipliers, it will be the first machine had 3 machines. The first machine is multiplied by 3, this multiplied by 2, this multiplied by 1. Sum them up, that will give me the first machine. The second machine will be the other way around. This one multiplied by 1, this one by 2, this one by 3, and the multipliers here, and that will be the second machine. Solve using Johnson, and that will be my solution, which is 28 in this example. Now, how good are these? How do we compare these solutions from each other? You can see here, usually these are done by experimentation. By the way, this is one good project if you are looking for a project. Use these, compare these 3 methods and see which method is better. And how do we compare this? By generating large number of problems randomly and solve each problem using the 3 methods, find the one that, and find the expected value, and see which one gives you better solutions, in terms of number of optimal solutions. How was risk solver? Risk solver can be used here. risk solver يا شباب، انا لاحظت في الاسايمنت حقكم انه most of you did not use risk solver. assignment 4 مازن معايا مازن؟ risk solver كيف كان، سهل ولا صعب؟ تعلمت عليه. طيب your project can be، طبعا I need 3 أو حتى 4 groups، يعني a group of 4. You can use risk solver to compare the performance of these 3 heuristics. يعني الريسك سولفر هو عبارة عن ايش؟ سامعين الباقيين؟ كل الجميع فاهم واضح سامع؟ Everyone is listening to me.
Yes دكتور معك.
You are looking for ideas for projects. Now a risk solver is a big opportunity for you for selecting a project. Risk solver. So I need you to master solving this risk solver. Risk solver هو عبارة عن ايش؟ It is a simulation. Monte Carlo simulation. سمعتوا بمونت كارلو simulation؟
اي دكتور.
اي دكتور.
It is simply a Monte Carlo simulation. يعني it generates a large number of solutions of problems, large number of solutions, and then evaluates the average and gives you the statistic about the solutions. So what you can do, you can generate problems using risk solver, ask risk solver to use a certain probability distribution to solve large number of problems using a certain method, using مثلا slope index. طبعا انت you have to program slope index في Excel. And then it will give you the statistics. How many times it will give you what is the average, what is the standard deviation for each method. So if you do the same using the 3 methods and then compare the results, that's a great project. فهمتوا الفكرة يا شباب؟
اي دكتور.
طيب اللي فهم اللي يعرف الريسك سولفر you can always have a project using risk solver. This is one idea, and there are many ideas you can use risk solver to do. So that would be a great project. If you don't know how to use risk solver, ask help. شوف الشباب اللي عارفينه و ask their help, they can help you. It's not that difficult. الكتاب يعني كان واضح تقريبا في شرحه مفصل، لكن you need to put some effort to learn it. It's very useful in many things. Okay?
Okay, دكتور.